Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. And today it's just going to be a quick analysis over a boxing match that I have been wanting to cover for so long, ever since it was announced. And so the fight that I want to cover over, since this is a math and stuff YouTube channel, not just barely math. Don't click out, please. This is going to be interesting. Canelo versus Crawford. This is arguably the most important fight in the history of boxing ever. And here's why I say why. Canelo. I believe he's around 67 and now. But Canelo is around 67 fights. He has 39 knockouts and he only has 2 losses. And those 2 losses were to Bivol and Mayweather. He has 2 draws, I believe. One of his being against Triple G. Then he has 39 knockouts against elite opponents such as Billy Joe Saunders, Caleb Plant, Kovalev, and even the famous Amir Khan. While Crawford, he is undefeated at 40-0 or 41. I believe it's 41. Yes, he's undefeated with 41. 41 wins, no losses, no draws, perfect record, and has 31 of those knockouts. 40 of his big wins being 31 knockouts. And so why do I say that this is the most important fight in boxing history? Well, first off, we have a guy in Canelo who's the face of boxing right now. Undisputed at 168. But then on the other side, we have Crawford, who was undisputed at 140 and at 147, and has recently moved up to 154 against Madrimov. So we have the stats. Canelo is the shorter fighter. He has a 78-inch reach at 5'8", while Crawford has a 74-inch reach at 5'9" or 5'10", around there. So their styles differ significantly from each other. Canelo is more of a power puncher, power counter puncher sort. He waits for you to make a mistake and capitalizes it. Crawford, however, is just mean. He's big and mean, especially in the lower weight classes. He was big, mean, and if he smells blood, he capitalizes on it. So he's big, mean, and able to punch. However, there is a big difference in the power of both of them. Canelo is the more defined and refined power puncher. He has more power, pure power, while Crawford's knockouts come from technical knockouts and accumulation of damage. We can see this in fights such as Porter. We can see Crawford's damage lead up in the Madrimov fight as well. And we can even see this with Amir Khan when Khan decided to quit. Yes, Crawford does have power. Oh, and Spence. Spence was a big one. But Crawford doesn't have finishing power, which I would say. Canelo, however, has one punch knockout power. And this is very different because many people are saying that his power is declining or his power isn't as good as it used to be. It's just that he's facing against 200-pound monsters. I mean, he went against Kovalev, knocked them out. Went against Munguia, Plant, BJS. All these dudes that are significantly heavier and have a good skill set and has still knocked them down. Now, since we know their styles and since we know what they're like, we have to talk about weight difference. Canelo started around 140 and has moved up as high as 175, while Crawford started at 135 and has moved up to 154, moving up to 168. from these measurements, we can say that very exactly the same frame or size. Canelo is just a little bit stockier, while Crawford is a little bit more athletic, but he's a little bit skinnier. Both are four division world champions, and both have gone undisputed. It's just that Crawford has gone undisputed in two divisions. Who do I think is gonna win? Well, based off of this information and the way they fight, before I say my prediction, let me talk about some advantages each man has and some disadvantages. Some advantages that Canelo has is that he's big, has a high IQ, and able to counterpunch. Some disadvantages that might some people might say, including myself, is that he has slow feet and he's also very, very predictable. Predictable not in the sense that you know what he's gonna do, but you know the method that he's gonna try to attack you at. So I would say predictable in terms of punching, or like in terms of punches. He's unpredictable inside the ring, just that you know what kind of punches he likes most. And another disadvantage that I would say Canelo has is that he is a shorter fighter. He's always been a shorter fighter. I mean, that doesn't like he's always been a shorter fighter. He's like 5'7.5" in reality. Crawford's advantages are that he's skinny, well not skinny skinny, but lean. Lean, skinny, athletic, and is a switch hitter. That means he can attack both southpaw and orthodox. So he's able to give Canelo many, many, many different versions, or like many different faces. Some disadvantages I would say is that Crawford does have flaws in his defense. Even though people like to say the narrative of Super Bud or Bud is untouchable, the the person with the most defense is Canelo. Canelo is actually ranked eighth, I believe, in hit and not getting hit. Essentially, where you get to hit, like essentially, it's just a plus or minus system where Shakur is on top, obviously. But Crawford is very, very easy to hit. He takes one to get one. And also another disadvantage in this fight is that this is his first fight at 168. And so after seeing all these facts, and if you want to debate with me in the comments, you can. I believe Canelo will win by 116, 112. So 84 rounds. The reason why I say this is because Canelo is the more experienced fighter at 168. He does have more world title fights. He has more world champions beat. He is also the bigger man and bigger in terms of size at 168. Even though Crawford might have the same frame and even might be physically taller than Canelo, Crawford has never fought at 168. And this is one of the big things that people are missing. I understand the Spence one was a domination. I saw that with my family. It was insane. I couldn't believe how Crawford was doing it. But to go from 147 to 154, which is just 7 pounds, and then to struggle against Madrimov is a bit of a fall off. And then you expect me to believe that Crawford will do the same thing that he did to Spence at Canelo about 14 pounds higher. That's just not going to happen. What Crawford is going to experience is an elite fighter with elite defensive skills and counterpunching. And what Crawford is going to do is that once he gets hit, he is going to start scrapping and is going to start being mean. However, I think Canelo's size, his will, and his counterpunching is going to allow him to weather off the storm and back Crawford into a corner and start unleashing body shots on him. I don't believe Crawford will quit. Crawford will never quit. He has that dog in him. He's mean, and he has too much pride and confidence in himself to just let himself quit. However, I think this will be another repeat of the Charlo fight, simply because Crawford is too small. He has a frame, but he's never fought at 168. And to go from Madrimov to Canelo is a big difference. Madrimov's first title defense was against Terence Crawford, and this is Canelo's 24th or 25th world title fight, going up against a 38-year-old Terence Crawford. Yes, Crawford is an elite guy with skills, with power in both stances, and is able to think and counterpunch and just do everything on the fly. However, Canelo also has elite skills. He is bigger, he is more physically imposing, and he also has the psychological advantage in that he's the champion at 168. He has been there for around 5 years now. He's 11 and 0, and he's beaten everyone that's been at 168. He's been in Munguia, he's been in Plant, he's been in Billy Joe, he's been in Callum Smith, he's been in Berlanga. Yes, Berlanga was trash, but still, Berlanga was over 200 pounds. He's also beaten William Skoll. Yes, that fight was bad. However, I think Skoll is a very, very relevant opponent. And he has also beat Kovalev at 175 and has even dared to step into 175 again against Dmitry Bivol. And even though that Bivol fight was an absolute domination, Canelo's defensive skills did show up. He got beaten because he was outmatched, outmuscled, but he still did good enough to show that his defensive power was still there. However, we have never seen Crawford at 168. We have not seen how he is, how he functions at that weight. At 154, he did struggle. Yes, he got the win, and even if you rewatch it, Crawford did win convincingly. However, it was very different to when he destroyed Spence at 147. And so these are the reasons why I say Canelo will win 116 to 112 by unanimous decision. Thank you for watching. This has been a very different video, but hopefully you like, subscribe, share, do whatever you need to do. And thank you.